brothers and sisters of the world.
I could see the smirk on John's face for the intro
Good
and our
intro.
thankfulness. Welcome
It's a
back,
good
guys.
intro. I wonder who made it.
Sorry we're late again. It was Dave's fault, so you can blame now down in the comments.
And Crystal's camera is not working now. Amazing.
I thought
Is
that was
it
just
not?
me. I was-
No, you're frozen.
You're frozen, bro.
Never mind. You can see my beauty either way. What's going on, fellas? Ian, how have you been? You're not, you have been traveling for the past month.
I have
You're-
been traveling from my bed to the fridge to the library to study, but Monday I'm going to Rome.
Boo.
So if anyone has any recommendations, please let me know what to do, what to see.
Not, it's been a good place for you to travel. Hopefully you'll like it. But until then, welcome, John.
Thank you.
How are you doing, my man?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me. I'm really, really excited to speak with you guys.
It's our pleasure, for
For
sure.
those of you who don't know, John is the person that made our intro. So big thanks for that. Really fantastic intro.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks. It actually didn't take me a whole while to make. I just, I know like I've never tried to make an intro before, so I like the challenge of trying to do something for you guys.
Risto, I think your mic is back. I mean, your camera.
Dave, what about you, my man? Where have you been for the past week? 2 weeks, to be exact.
Oh man, I've been okay. I've been, we haven't recorded much. Well, I haven't been able to record with you guys. I know you guys did a couple episodes without me. I've been here, man. Just following the Mercado news like everybody else, as you know. Mostly good so far, but of course we're anticipating the bad because we know it's coming. Where's that echo coming from?
I'm sorry, muted it.
Okay, I'm sorry, but all in all, I'm good. I'm happy to be here with you guys. Let's discuss some Mercado. And John, thank you for joining us, man. I know we've been trying to do it for a minute. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for the intro, and let's talk some football.
Let's do it.
The past week has been full with Lukaku news. Lukaku seems to be coming back home. I mean, he calls home a lot of places, I guess. But one of the places that he calls home is, of course, Milano, Giuseppe Meazza. So it will be thrilled to see him again in our shirt. I know, the news has been welcomed by me. I really like him as a player. It's the perfect age for a striker. Those 5-year window from 27 to 32, I think, is the best period of a player's life. And we're getting someone that we sold last year for 120 for 10 million on a loan. And it seems like it's going to be a loan plus another year of loan with an option to buy, which it's a perfect scenario. I know Dave and Ian has said a lot on that topic, so I want to hear you, John. What's your opinion on that?
I love Lukaku. I think, even when he left us at Chelsea, I was pretty heartbroken, but I still wanted to see him succeed, but hopefully now he gets to succeed back with us and give us number 20. I think if what you say is true, like 2-year loan with an option to buy, that probably like top 5 Beppe masterclasses. I mean, we economically speaking, I think it's a great deal. I think getting a striker who I think has a lot to prove, he's probably really hungry to show everyone that he wasn't like a bust at Chelsea. So yeah, I think really he was probably the best striker on the market for us to get. We were getting a player who wants to be there, someone who has the ability. So, I'm all for it. Like 10 out of 10.
No, absolutely. I mean, to pick it back off what John is saying, if we put things in perspective, let's say like at the end of the season, if we had to do like an inventory of the season and what the team is missing and what our weaknesses were, we missed a striker like Lukaku. We needed somebody with pace. We had Dzeko there. He did his best. I think he exceeded most of our expectations given his age, but we're missing somebody with pace because Lautaro, despite being right in the middle of his prime, is still not a quick player, but he has other strengths. So I don't think any Inter fan, even in our wildest dreams, would have thought it was even a possibility of bringing back Lukaku. Not so soon after we sold them last year for the amount of money we sold them to, just for the sake of even Chelsea saving face, I would think. I would have thought that they would have given him a hard time and they would have been okay with sitting him on the bench all year, instead of actually bending to his will and actually sanctioning the move exactly where he wants to go. So if it feels like we got lucky, we really struck luck with this transition that's happening at Chelsea right now, where they have the new owner. It wasn't really his move. He doesn't really take responsibility for it. So I guess that's why he's so easy with letting Lukaku go, like on what, 8 million loan. That's peanuts for a Premier League club like Chelsea. Let's be honest. So yeah, I feel like we really got lucky, and of course, we have the best in the business, Beppe. He was there to pounce on the deal the minute it became a possibility. We saw that everybody was involved, even Zong was involved, and we made it happen. Of course, we're not going to be all twerking for him, for lack of a better word, right away and putting a crown on his head, because we are a club that has sizable history, bigger history than Chelsea that he went to, may I say. So the way he left us, the way he treated us, we can't forget that. But I say, like, of course, we definitely got to give him full chances to earn our respect and our love back, and I'm willing to give it away as soon as possible, as soon as he start giving us the performances that we're missing.
Do you guys think he's gonna give, even more that he gave us, like, what, 3 years ago when he arrived? Do you think he'll be more motivated now than he was back then?
It's
Might be. Prove all the Prem heads wrong. The British press, we know how they are. Prove them all wrong. Doubting a man.
Yeah,
Coming back.
I mean,
coming back to his alleged home.
No, I could definitely see it. I could definitely see him being more motivated, not only to prove the Premier League people wrong, once again, but mind you, this year we have a World Cup at the end of the year, so he's gonna want to be playing his best football and being in his best shape by the time the World Cup starts in November, I believe. So at least for the beginning of the season, I expect them to hit the ground running, be fully motivated, and give us 100%. Now, whether that carries on after the World Cup, because I can't really think of much that will be motivating him, or what else he would have to left to be proven, unless he still wants to prove the Premier League guys wrong that much. But for sure, the beginning of the season leading up to the World Cup, I expect him to do everything he can to get back in full shape, shed a couple pounds, because we do see he looks a little heavier than what we got used to seeing him at Inter. He'll shed those pounds and he'll get back in shape. And Inzaghi really wanted him. He really pushed for him. So I'm sure Inzaghi already sees how he wants to use him in the system. I'm excited.
yeah.
Can
I
we
mean,
just touch on the? Yeah, sorry, John, go on.
you're good. I think the Inzaghi factor has to be thought about, right? Like, he did really want him, but I think Conte, like every player in Conte's system, knows exactly like where they need to be and what they need to do.
Absolutely.
And also, like, with Conte gone and like Pintus also being gone, who's like a huge factor in our Scudetto win. Like Lukaku historically has had fitness issues, and so when he was with us, he was like a lean, just like monster. So we could get him back to that. I think he'll have no problem, like really like repeating that production with us.
No, especially seeing who's the reigning MVP. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure we have Milan fans listening, but if there are, no disrespect, but we have Leao as the MVP of the league. He's a player ultimately talented. He's super talented, but he's very, very raw. And he's been a one-trick pony. Just kick the ball, and nobody really can keep up with him with the pace. And that's pretty much how he carried Milan to a Scudetto. I say that to say this: Lukaku. We saw similar things with Lukaku a couple of years ago. The pace, the physicality, and it seems like Serie A defenders just cannot deal with it. A mad Lukaku, a motivated Lukaku, a Lukaku that's going to have to be competing with probably Dybala for his starting position. We can only benefit from that, man, and I hope it goes the best way, because of course it could go one of two ways. We see what Lukaku can do when he's unhappy or when he's not getting his way. So let's just hope it goes the right way, where his motivated guys are competing in practice, getting the best out of each other, and then at the end of the day, we're gonna benefit from it.
The only two guys that stopped Lukaku are basically out of the league. Romero, who stopped Lukaku in an amazing way, and Chiellini. And the other one is Koulibaly, but Koulibaly is a beast. So
Koulibaly, yeah. hmm
I'm not mentioning him. But two out of the three are gone, and there's no one stopping him. I think motivation will be as high as ever. It's Lukaku, as you said. He loves, I think, the surrounding because he is the main man. The league is peanuts for him. I think the physicality is not as strong as in the Premier League, and I think that will actually play into his hands once again. On the other hand, we have a coach that really appreciates him as much as Conte, one would say, because he wanted Lukaku to stay last season. He was the one, that prioritized Lukaku staying over other players, but it didn't turn out as Inzaghi wanted it. And we saw how good Inter were without him. Even Dzeko scored 15, 16. Him and Lautaro will be amazing again. If Lautaro, as fourth season in a row, we're saying that Lautaro is, missing chances, and the biggest problem is consistency, and putting the ball behind the net when he can. That he'll be a deadly duo. They will be a deadly duo once again. So, I mean, it's all in his hands, I think.
I think he played a very raw pairing of Tomori and Kalulu before he left, didn't he? And now with a championship season under their belt, I think these two are going to be the biggest problem for him. Because
but
the rest of the league didn't even improve that much.
No, I agree. And especially, I'm sure we could touch on that a little later. It seems like Juve might lose De Ligt as well. But we're talking about the quality defenders of the league. But I feel like touching on Tomori and Kalulu, those are guys that they're quick and they're athletic, but they still don't match up to Lukaku's physicality. Once he gets his body on you, he could probably swat him off like flies because they're tiny compared to him, in my opinion. So, of course, I don't want to speak out of term. The football doesn't get played on podcasts, but let's see what happens in the pitch. Hopefully what I think would happen will happen. I think Lukaku won't have an issue with him at all.
No, I mean, I think, yeah, like you said, even though I think Tomori and Kalulu are probably 3-4 times better than when Lukaku left, I still think he's just a level above them. And we've all seen that video with Jamie Carragher, I think, where he's doing that spin move on him, and we saw him do it, basically on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
So I'm fully confident in Big Rom. I think he'll end his career as an Inter legend. If I had to put money on it.
That's an interesting point, and I can believe it as well because Risto, I think you're the one that has the comments. I think somebody mentioned Endo Hari. I think he mentioned Endo Hari. One of his comments, he mentioned that Lukaku went ahead and he pretty much ruined his reputation with a big club, and stuff like that. They resonate throughout the football world, and I think that may even make him untouchable for a lot of clubs. So that being said, I think he may end up being at Inter after his loan ends. I'm sure they could work with us and find a price that we can afford at that time, and he probably will end up at Inter. So yeah, John, very good point. I could definitely see it happening because he's pretty much burned all his bridges in world football at this point. So there's going to be a faction that thinks that, okay, this guy just can't perform in the big stage because he failed at Man U and he failed at Chelsea, and there's going to be the other faction that feels like, hey, this guy is a diva. He's just going to bully his way out if he doesn't get his way. So we're just going to benefit from that, being in a financial situation that we are. And it would only take for a soap opera like this to take place for Lukaku to be ending up in our laps right now, and here we are.
Dave, you said one interesting thing. You think Dybala is coming, right? Because you said he will be in a competition with Lukaku in that instance.
Yeah, as we stand right now, I do believe it's happening. Because again, I'm a guy I have blind trust in Beppe. And when he had that slick smile, he knows something we don't know. And we've seen rumors that he's been working on Dybala since December-ish, January-ish after the supposed failed contract attempt with Juve. So I'm pretty sure it's a matter of just shipping Sanchez and one of Zeko and Correa before we could close for Dybala. Because think about it, right now on the books we have Lautaro, Zeko, we have Lukaku now, we still have Sanchez because he's looking for a club, and we have Correa. So we have 5 strikers right now. So if we bring in Dybala, we'd have 6. So I think it's just a matter of not only making space on the squad, but also on the payroll for Dybala, because it's been widely rumored that he's pretty much taking Sanchez's wage. So we got to get rid of Sanchez's wage so he could take it. So I'm not falling for what DeMarzo is saying, or Milan might be interested, this club, that club. I just believe that he's ours to lose at this point. If that changes, I'll let you guys know. What do you guys think? I want to see. What do you guys think? Like, give me your Dybala meter, all 4 of you guys, or 3 of you guys.
I want to hear John first because we've said a lot about Dybala on the topic, and I'm interested in how John is thinking.
I love Dybala. Like, he's like, I was like a closeted Dybala fan for like the longest time. Like,
Same.
I hate this probably more than any other sports team like in the world. So like, it's hard for me to like praise one of the players. And like, dude, like when they got him, I was so mad because he's just that, like, he's probably like top 3 players in the league. You know, I think just like hands down, in terms of ability. So, you know, I trust Beppe, like Dave, like, you know, blindly. And if there's someone that can convince him, you know, like to join our project, I think it's Beppe, right? I think he got into Juve, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So they already have like yeah. And, you know, I think the project right now at Inter is probably a lot more appealing, you know, than Juventus. Despite like our financial struggles, we've still managed to put out a really competitive team and win trophies.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, last season.
Mhm.
So I'm still fairly confident that we're going to end up getting him. Like, I don't think we'll wet the bed that badly that we'll miss out on Dybala. You know, even if we have to like make sacrifices, you know, with other players.
I agree. That's where I'm at as well. And mainly, I'm looking at the competition, or the rumored competition so far. What we've seen in the press is what Roma. I really doubt that he's going to join Roma to play in the Europa League. Of course, they're very appealing right now. They seem to be making moves. They're improving the squad. They have Mourinho, but the Europa League, I think that's the key factor. I don't think I think he wants CL football. So that, to me, ever since I saw the Roma links, I was never worried about that. Sevilla, they seem to be the only team that made a concrete offer other than us, but it's about 2 million lower than us. And of course, no disrespect, it's still a lower club, and I don't think he would pick them over us. Now there's Milan. The reason why I'm not so worried about Milan is because it just doesn't fit what their model has been. They're not going to pay a guy 6 to 7 million, 29 years old and stuff like that. They only made an exception for Ibra, and that's because he's been their spiritual leader and something like that on the team. So I don't think they will pay Dybala what he wants at this point. That's why I'm saying is he's ours to lose. So hopefully I'm proven right.
The thing is, okay, so let's say we get Lukaku. Let's say Dybala joins. Aslani is basically confirmed. Mkhitaryan has been rumored. Bellanova, Onana as well.
Mm-hmm.
Where does the money come from? Someone has to go. At this point, it seems Skriniar is the most likely to go. Do we really sacrifice Skriniar for what's it? Okay, let's say at best, Lukaku for 2 years with a loan option. Dybala using Aslani, who is for the future play, but like we get a washed Mkhitaryan, a very raw Bellanova, who I don't know what would he do. He'd be back up to Dumfries basically. Dumfries pretty much plays 3 out of 4 games, you know. So I don't know how many. How useful that would be, you know.
I mean, to answer your question, I feel like if we go by what we've seen on Twitter, the rumors, it looks like Skriniar is as good as done. Because one of the major stumbling blocks. Every time Skriniar gets linked to another team, we're always saying, "Oh, he doesn't want to leave. He's never going to agree. He's never going to this. He's never going to that." It's been reported for a couple of weeks now that he has agreed to terms with them for $7.5 million a year, which is twice what he's been making here. And at this point, is this about us agreeing with PSG? They had 60 mil and we had 70, so the gap is not that hard to bridge. I'm sure it will be bridged next week with bonuses. Look, right now I'm rocking a Skriniar kit on my back right now, so you guys know how I feel about him. He's the heart and soul of the team. I want him to be our captain. He's one of those guys. He said it himself. He wants to retire at Inter, be or Hamsik or whatnot. But we're in this situation. We know what it is, and we have to make a sacrifice. And it seems like the board has sat down with Inzaghi, and between him, Bastoni, and Lautaro, it seems like Skriniar is the guy that they've decided is easier to replace. It's gonna hurt, but I feel like we can replace it accordingly and even be a better team. Because Bremer, it seems like we're gonna get him. We've had an agreement with him since forever, reportedly. Hopefully, we can close that. And then Milinkovic is a guy that I like as well. Of course, he was one of the hottest prospects a couple of years ago, but he's since stagnated. He didn't have the best of seasons last year. Maybe because they played a back four, he's more comfortable in the back three. But I think that's a guy that, if I had to pick a guy in the league to replace Skriniar, it would definitely be Milinkovic. He's used to playing the right center back and a three at the back. He's very good in the air, and with Hakan's set piece ability, I feel like Milinkovic could be a weapon for us. So that was just my long-winded way of saying, I have kind of conditioned myself to accept that Skriniar is gone. It's more of a matter of just ripping off the Band-Aid right now so we could get over it. Hopefully it does mean that as soon as he's gone, everything starts moving faster. We close Bremer, we go for Milinkovic, because as soon as Juve they sell De Ligt, I'm sure they'll be interested in Milinkovic and any good center back in the league. So yeah, I hope we just get it over with next week, man. So by the time the following week we start in preseason, we have full squad. We don't have guys dwindling in, and Inzaghi can work in peace.
It's so depressing, dude. Like,
it is, man.
It's making me think about like Bastoni when people were swearing that Bastoni was gone. It's kind of like better the devil you know than the one you don't, right? Because like if between the two, I personally think Skriniar is probably more important to our squad, even though Bastoni is like the attacking quality he gives the team is insane. I think like with Lukaku and Dybala, we don't need like a center back with like attacking qualities. We need like the rock that is Skriniar.
I agree.
Like that being said, if we turn Skriniar into Milinkovic and Bremer, I think that's still probably the best defense in the league. With De Vrij and Bastoni there, if De Vrij stays too, which who knows.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's still kind of just puts a damper on everything. So I agree with you, Dave. I think the sooner the better, right? Like if he's gone, whatever. Let's just we survived Hakimi leaving. We even survived
Hakimi and Lukaku and Conte one summer. So yeah, we have strong hearts.
So
yeah. But go ahead, Ian. I saw you were kind of nodding your head when John was speaking.
Basically, a three-part thought. First of all, Milinkovic as a Balkaner, the less Serbians, the better. Second, I saw that Torino now want 50 million for Bremer. They just keep upping the price. I don't know if this is sustainable. Bremer for 50 million, so we sell Skriniar, let's say, for 70, that's 20 million, and we still need to make 60 million to keep the books or anything.
No way we're spending 50 million. It was reported that we're spending max 30 cash, and then we're gonna put a counterpart in there, probably Gagliardini, maybe Pinamonti. Who else were they interested in? DeMarco. I don't want to lose DeMarco because I feel like he's like a joker for us in our squad. Like a wild card. But yeah, I feel like that's doable, especially if the player really wants Inter and stuff like that. Worst thing scenario, we could just wait it out and pay 15 mil in January and get him.
But what does
So,
this say
so the
about?
players' will is really what's gonna be the deciding factor here, because we're broke. We can't pay that kind of money. It's really gonna have to be a matter of him pretty much going to the board, kind of like Vlahovic did with Fiorentina, telling them, hey, I don't care if the Premier League teams are offering you this amount. I want Juve, or else I'll walk for free. You know.
But what does this say about the players that maybe want to join the club? You see players like Skriniar, despite not wanting to leave, being pushed out no matter what's going on. You see Bastoni, he also said he doesn't want, and he was being pushed out basically gone for like the better part of 3 weeks. Okay,
I think
Lukaku forced himself up. Like,
I
what does
think
this say about the project?
I think it's been our financial situation has been widely reported. You could see on Twitter every single Prem head, Tottenham fans, Arsenal fans, everybody's an enter expert all of a sudden talking about our finances. We need money. We need to do this. We need to do that. So I feel like players, they understand that as well. At the end of the day, I'm sure their agents teach them, you know what, this is a business, because it goes both ways as well. We've seen clubs dump players because they got injured and they can't regain form, so on the other end, some clubs could decide to sell a player and the player has to go. At the end of the day, it's a business. We're in a situation where we have a debt we have to pay. Hopefully it is a 3-year situation like it was sold to us fans, that it's a loan that we got to pay in 3 years, and then we should be fine after that. Or hopefully the stadium's getting built by then, something, so I'm one of those guys. I try to be understanding. I try to be that's why I'm not fully zoning out. I try to understand what's going on, and hopefully it is a 3-year thing. We sustain it. We survive it this year. We survived last year. We survived this year. We'll probably sell Skriniar. Next year, we're probably going to lose probably Lautaro or Barella. And then hopefully after that, we're fine. That's what I try to do, because as fans, it's very limited what we can do. When the club's doing something we don't agree with, we can't. The most we could say is like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna stop watching, stop following, and that kind of takes away from something in my life. So I gotta try to be in line with what the club's doing.
No, finishing second might have been a curse, because the board may look at our finish and say, oh, we've done so well without Lukaku and Hakimi. We both sold for profit and we got we spent 15 to 20 million out of those money. We can do that again. So the cockiness may play a huge part in the whole negotiation process. I don't like Milinkovic at all. There's something that I don't like about him. He doesn't seem like composed. Don't say it. I'm not sure. Like,
no, I agree. He is a hothead. I see that a lot in him.
It says passport.
This guy, we're not gonna subscribe to that. But listen, think about, like, give me what would be an alternative. It seems like who?
Don't sell Skriniar.
So what's the plan? I mean, they've been telling us this for how long now, that there's gonna be a sacrifice.
But I would much rather go for Bastoni. I think Skriniar is on that level.
Let me touch on the Bastoni real quick. I feel like the reason why they've decided that is not because, okay, when you watch on the pitch, Bastoni is a better player, or he will ever be a better player than Skriniar is. It's just that left-footed center backs are at a premium, and it's very important, especially when you're playing 3 at the back, having a center back that could play on the line, turn and play that pass on the line and stuff. So I feel like that's what it is. He's Italian, he's left-footed, and he has that ability. It looks like the game is moving towards that way of having all 11 players having to be able to play with the ball. So having a guy that's already looking like he's the modern center back, that's probably what it is. I understand it, but I personally, I would have gone Bastoni. I would have sold Bastoni over Skriniar any time of the day.
I do get that, but if Skriniar goes, I think Bremer arrives, and as well as Milinkovic, let's say. So who's the 3 starting center backs next season? Is it Milinkovic?
The Vrij is definitely going to get sold as well. I think there's no way we have De Vrij on the roster by the end of the Mercado. So we're gonna cash in the 15 million off of him easily, I think, because no way we go into that season and let this guy walk for free.
I
I
don't
don't
understand
see.
why we don't do what Torino did with Bremer. He had 1 year left on the contract. We extend him for a year, add a January clause like he does. If we sell him in the summer, great. If not, at least in the January we get some cash. We don't let him walk.
But-
No.
Bremer wanted to stay at
Oh.
Torino. I don't know why De Vrij would agree to that. He's just making Inter more money. That's it.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. That
I mean, look, either we sell him now or he goes on a free next season. I guarantee you, if he extended, he will be sold next season. Because
But
he's getting
what-
too old. He's stagnant.
How much money can we get from
But the
him?
thing is, it's reported that the reason why we haven't extended is because he wants a raise, or he wants at least to stay in the same money that he's making. We did offer him an extension at reduced salaries, but he didn't want that. So
Why the fuck would he stay then?
Can you blame
Well,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm so convinced that he's gonna be sold, and I'm mad that all those teams that I was 100% sure would come for him, Chelsea at the top. The fact that he's not being linked to them is kind of disheartening, because I feel like they just lost 3 center backs for free, and he's a high value center back to me. He's still not world class anymore. He's still a top class center back, and being able to get a guy like that for 12 to 15 million because they only have 1 year in their contract, they're not available. They're not so readily available. Well, it's still soon, so hopefully they do come for him. But I expect them to be sold for sure. De Vrij.
John, if we
Like,
go
what-
into the... No, I just go on.
Like I don't see a big club like that can like spend, and get a much better alternative. Like go for De Vrij at least right now. Like I know like Koundé is probably on the market. Like any club that needs a center back is going to try to get him.
And they want the league too, right?
Yeah, I mean, De Ligt's he's a Fugazi, like he's
we know
like-
we know him. We know him
like
very well.
tell me you don't watch Serie A without telling me you don't watch Serie A. I think De Vrij like this past season was probably like a horrible audition for him. So I think for like these big clubs, I don't see a big club like making a concrete offer for him until like they're like desperate.
Yeah.
Come August.
Hopefully Conte comes for him late, because there's still Conte as Spurs. And who's their center back is Ben Davies that plays there, that plays in the middle of their back three. Because I think Romero plays on the right. No?
I don't know. I know Ben Davies is on the left.
I have no clue.
I think De Vrij on the wrong side is still better than Ben Davies on his like own side. So
But I think at the point of his career, if it's either center or nothing for him, because he's not fleet of foot. So
No,
he's
either
gonna
way,
get burned in the.
He's gonna get
burned in
cooked
the-
either way.
Mhm.
I heard that Newcastle apparently offered him a contract, and he flat out said no.
He said no. Oh, wow.
Bro,
Newcastle.
I just saw some photos of him being on a vacation in Tanzania, and do you think he's going from Tanzania to fucking Newcastle to that shitty weather? No one is that dumb. But my point was that, like, if that happens, and if Milenkovic and Bremer both arrive instead of De Vrij and Skriniar, does it mean that the defense going into next season will be worse than what we had this season? Because on paper we'll have Milenkovic, Bremer, and Bastoni, while we had Skriniar, De Vrij, and Bastoni.
Okay, let me get this one real quick. Because as I told you guys, I had an appointment. I got a jet. John, it's been a pleasure, man. I hope we can do this more often for a longer time. If Risto was on time, we would have had a whole full hour, but he chose to be late. But real quick, I think that Risto, to answer your question, we may be surprised and have a better defense next year. Not necessarily because of the defenders, but because of who's going to be behind them. We're going to have a functional goalkeeper. Hopefully, he can get back his form and be the Onana we know he can be. And I think the rest is going to be a matter of how the three gel. Bremer, Bastoni, and Milenkovic. We have 3 players there. Depending on how they gel, how they pick up the system, I think we might have a better defense than what we had last season. Because last season we conceded a lot of funny goals because of the Vrij not being at his best. Every time I say De Vrij not being at his best, the goal that is so vivid in my mind is Giroud turning him, and everything happened in slow motion. So we conceded a lot of goals like that, and Handanovic right behind him. So all that counts against the defense. So not having that in the team, a DeVry that's messing up, and also an Ananovic that's messing up, I feel like that's automatically an improvement on defense. So, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and jet. I can't wait to hear the rest of the episode. Good rest of the episode. I'll chat with you guys later.
Sounds good.
By the you know, what Dave said made sense. But at the end of the day, I think going to the season with Milenkovic and in the season, not Skriniar, I think it will have a huge impact for the start of the season. I think the first month we'll have like easy schedule. That's something that we didn't touch upon. So Ian, please, bring up the schedule so we can, close out on that. I'm just
I was
interested
about
in.
to do that earlier.
I'm interested. So I think we were playing Lecce as well.
Yeah,
the
let's
first game.
first game. I definitely think we'll have a worse defense than last season in terms of just like the quality of the three center backs. But I think relative to the rest of the league, we'll still have one of the best defenses in the league. We've been spoiled.
Even with Onana. What do you think of Onana?
Oh, I love him. I think he's so. I think like his situation's kind of unique, right? Because like he was out of the game for like a year. That slows you down. I think once he starts like getting going, and once he has like a motivation of like proving himself at Inter, he has. I think he has all the tools to be a great goalie. We have our guy, Samuel Eto'o, talking to him, in like the national team and all that. Like I think Onana knows just how important this team is and this new role that he has. So I think he'll do well.
Do you think he starts in the first game or not?
Yeah,
because that's something that we spoke about.
I think so. I think
so.
Handanovic has had too many, like dumb mistakes. And I do love him. I do think Handanovic, was great for us. He, kept us out of, like the double digit positions when we were like really horrible. But I do think Onana should start over him. Like you don't sign Onana as a backup goalie.
I do agree with that, but I don't think he starts in the first game, at least in the first few games. I think Handanovic has so much leeway and so much, just reputation-wise. I think he gets the nod in the first few weeks, especially, But who knows? Because I think it's perfect for Onana to start in such, against smaller opponents to get going. So if you don't put him in the first 4 games, let's say, with the schedule as it is, we will have 12 games in 2 months, which is league wise. Let's not count easy. So please take us through.
Let's just go. Okay, so we start with Lecce, who were recently promoted, I think, on the 14th of August. That's really early, is it not? Or is that the usual?
It is.
It is earlier, isn't it?
One week earlier than usual.
Those
Like the World Cup.
Okay, so we start with the away game, then Spezia home, Lazio away, Cremonese home, and then Milan home and away.
How many points are those in the first 4 games?
Look, Lecce has to be a win. Spezia as well. Lazio, depending if they have Milinkovic-Savic or not, I still think that's a win. Cremonese is a win. Milan, we'll see. But that's at least 12 points from the first 5 games. Realistically.
It depends on the end of the mercato. I think if we get Dybala and if we get Lukaku, we're getting Lukaku. Like if we get all the targets that we're set out to get, I think that's 15 points. I just think that attack is going to score goals for fun, especially in Inzaghi's system. Who knows if he moves with a 10 and then has all 3 of them on at the same time. But I think that's the great thing about someone like Inzaghi and a player like Dybala, where he can play pretty much most places in the attack and even in the midfield, and still be a crucial player of the team.
Well, it'll be interesting to see the tactical flexibility, because I was thinking if he really wants to play all 3 attackers, so Lukaku, Lautaro, and Dybala, just take out one center back, play 4 at the back. I think we have the players that can do that. But Hakimi, who we know can play in the 4 at the back.
That won't happen though. Yeah, I don't think Inzaghi is the one that we'll use for the back.
Yeah, I mean with Conte we saw it sometimes, but we'll see. Okay then.
So you can,
Torino home.
so
Sorry,
is
go on.
so we have how many games we have in September? So Milan, Torino, that's
Okay,
two.
so it's
Udinese,
1, 2, 3. Only
so
3.
three. But
Because here's the international break between week 7 and week 8. So between Udinese away and Inter Roma home
is there really a need for international break? Well, you have the fucking World Cup in a month and a half from then. It's so pointless. I
This
fucking
is going
hate.
to be such a shit show of a season.
And how there has to be like a month with so many games in it. So is week 8? So Roma, Sassuolo,
Silver
Salernitana,
is 5
Fiorentina,
games.
5 games. Okay, and then how
And
many
then
do we play?
and then
1, 2,
Juventus,
3.
and then Bologna. Look at this. This is 3 days, and then 4 days, and then it's off until the 4th of January.
And all this plus the group stage of like the Champions League.
Christ. Oh
14
shit.
games.
UCL. Okay, Coppa Italia
Yeah.
starts in January as well, but
I mean, thankfully we have,
damn,
we're gonna have bench midfielders for once.
we
you know.
need to.
As long as we don't get Barca or Real Madrid in the group like we've gotten them for the past like 3 years, I think we'll be okay. But
Who's in the
But-
first group? So it's just the champions of the top group of the top leagues and the winner of the Champions League. No,
mhm.
so it will be
I-
Milan. We're in the second one, so it's Milan, Madrid, Bayern. Fuck, I forget Bayern. They're gonna spank us so hard, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Man City, Porto, PSG.
Christ.
I think Frankfurt also because they won the
Imagine PSG, Hakimi and Skriniar homecoming, and Icardi homecoming.
Icardi. If he plays,
Icardi's gonna pop out the celebration when he's
I would love that.
winner.
Bro, I would join him.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Kurva Nord just
Definitely.
flying to Paris. that would be fun. Okay, no, but from what we can see, it's a packed schedule. You play for most of the time. You're gonna play two games a week with UCL as well. Oh, hello. Will this? I don't know why this is so big screen. So yeah, it's okay. So UCL starts end of September, and until by the end of September, you already have 7 games played. And then you have international games. Then you have the whole of October, which is what we say 5 games, 6 games, 1, 2, 3, 5 games.
No.
And then you have
Basically, you have like what, 15 games in Serie A, 6 in Champions League, which have to end by, I don't know what, the 15th, 16th.
probably
So that's 20 games in 3 months, exactly 3 months. 13th of November from 14th of August. Exactly 3 months, 20 games. That's what, 7
21.
games a month.
Yeah.
That's exactly
that's
a game every 4 days.
that's
we
horrible.
don't play the youth. The youth.
Agume is gonna finally get minutes.
Oh, inshallah, bro. Hopefully.
Dude, we should not. We can't throw him away. Like he is. I think he's the real deal. And we also got a
We
Cabroni.
already have Aslani
True.
for
Sure.
the quote unquote his
Well-
the Vice Brozovic, which Agume was supposed to be. Was he not? That's what I hear from Inter scouts on Twitter. Vice Brozovic and whatnot.
I feel like you can have them both in the squad. Competition, some more options.
Have a Barella substitute. We don't really
No.
have someone to. No. We're gonna run that
Gagliardini.
ball in the ground.
Gagliardini.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're good.
Of course.
We're good.
Bobby Gags.
I think as I mentioned, there will be 6 games being played, so 3 home, 3 away in the Champions League, which have to end by midweek of the 13th of November that week. So as I said, it goes 20 games in 3 months, which is like what, 7 every 4 days. So which is absurd. And having 3 strikers that we may say, oh, Dybala will sit on bench. No, they won't, because there will be a game every 4 days. So I think this is the best case scenario because nobody will feel left out just because of that reason. If it was a normal season, it would have been different. But I think in this case, it's a lot of good things to look forward to. And the Lukaku signing is just one of them. Skriniar leaving seems inevitable. I don't want him to leave. I don't think anyone wants him to leave. It is what it is. Any last words, guys?
Forza Inter, you know, it's just all we can do is let Bebe cook. You know.
Last time I was here, there was the cake video of Netomai Cardi mentioned that we need to watch.
Okay.
Will we watch it?
What
'Cause
video
I
is this?
haven't watched it since then.
I mean, I think we need a full crew with us three here and Mike and Dave, so we can all comment on that. I think that video deserves a
wanna wait?
stream of itself. Yeah. I mean, it's a content that if it dries up, it dries up. It's like oil; it doesn't come back. That's it. Like when you suck it off, it is what it is. I think that deserves like a full stream with
When you what?
all the what?
When you what? What did you say?
I don't remember.
I feel like me and Ian heard the same thing.
Did you hear that?
I feel like
I'm gonna make a clip out of that.
I mean, whatever you heard, I didn't say it. I don't know what I said, but it doesn't matter. I think, as I said, that video deserves a stream on its own. Be sure not to be sure not to watch the video individually. I think I've seen it. I don't know about you, but
what video is this?
it's
The last thing
Inter.
doesn't matter.
It's Inter team, I think, back in 2013 or 2014, visiting New York and going to the Cake Boss's house or whatever it is, factory.
I think.
Huh?
I think he's an Inter fan.
I think one of the guys says, I think he's like something in law, is an Inter fan. I used to watch that show over and over again. Don't judge me, please.
Hey, I love cake too, man. It's okay.
But be sure, like we will be in touch, and I wanna join you. I want you to join me. I was just thinking of the video.
Pin the latest comment from Saeed, please.
Yeah, I don't know. Guys, thanks for joining again. Hope you had a nice chat. I think next episode has to be John again to talk about his experience in Milano.
Yeah.
I've not forgotten about it, but I think Lukaku and Skriniar deserve an episode on its own. And we start off next week with John talking about Milano, about all the things that he saw, how he regrets going to watch Inter, bottling the Scudetto, and we finish off with the Cake Bosses video, live commenting on it for 30 minutes.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you so much, John,
Guys.
for joining. Thanks
Yeah,
again, John, for making the intro.
Bye, guys.
If anyone wants John's Instagram handle, Twitter handle, it's what's it again?
It's Fredward Mac, I think, or something. I don't know. It's been a while.
Follow John there.
Yeah, I'm on all the circles. It's okay.
Follow us at POTWPOD on Twitter. And we do not, this is an official statement, we do not block people from the chat. And yeah.
Brothers and sisters of the world.